Yo, what's going on, PLC podcast listeners? Listen, I'm not even exaggerating, okay? Jay and I, after we recorded this episode, we didn't look at each other, but we spoke to each other. We were like, yo, I think that was one of the best episodes we've ever recorded. And we agreed. We both agreed. We were both like, yeah, that was a really, really good episode. So naturally, we talk about semifinals, right? Because that was last week. We talk about the finals matchup, but we also we go really deep into PLC lore in this episode, and I think it's worth a listen. We talk for 10 minutes at the beginning of Disney, about Disney movies. So if Disney is not really your thing, you can kind of skip those first 5-10 minutes. But listen to the rest of the episode because it was really, really good. And again, I'm not just saying that to it was just really good. I'm just being completely honest. Jay agrees, and the entire episode is incredible. So give it a listen. We hope you enjoy. We will see you in chat, and we will be on the lookout for those emojis. What does that mean? Just listen to the episode and you'll find out. So we hope you enjoy, and we will see you in chat. Peace. All right, PLC podcast listeners, we're back. Jay, how are you doing on this fine evening?
Doing fantastic, man. It's a beautiful thunderstorm approaching. Might go outside a little bit, maybe pray to the rain god, Kyogre, Pelipper, Politoed. There's some thunder coming. Might give some praise to our Chaladon, Tornadus, Thunderous. You know what I mean?
There we go.
For one time.
No, I feel it. Yo, side note. Aren't thunderstorms the best at night?
Yes and no. Now, Are you a fan of the smell of rain? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, I like it. Yeah,
of rain.
Mm-hmm.
When the smell of rain hits, and then you get the raindrops on the AC, and it's at night, and you get that breeze. I just fall asleep. I don't know what I just go straight to sleep. It's the most soothing thing in the world for me. But there's been times where it's 5 a.m. and all I hear is boom, and I'm like, oh shit. I wake up for 2 seconds and I just go right back to sleep.
Yo, those are the best though. We had thunder and lightning the other night where it was really going at it. And again, it was night, it was dark outside, time to get in bed, time to lay down. Yo, that's the freaking best. That's next level. So
it's very soothing. I wonder what if someone's listening. Can someone explain in the comments in the Discord as to why rain is such a popular thing to sleep to, thunderstorms in particular? You know what I mean? I wonder if there's a science behind that. You know how they have the calm sounds and it's a rain shower and things like that. I wonder how that originated, how that even start.
Why is that soothing and not volcanic sounds? Well, I mean, that's...
Well, I don't know about I don't know about that, but I think because with thunderstorm, it's not gonna kill you. If you hear a volcano going on, I feel oh shit, let me head down, things like that.
Fair. No, it's surprising that earthquake sounds aren't that soothing.
Do earthquakes make sounds? I actually don't know. That's the reason why, because we actually had a small earthquake in New York a couple months ago.
Yeah, I remember it was recent.
I remember I was in bed. It was shaking, and I just went back to sleep because I was oh, okay.
For real? No, I was in an earthquake. I'm not gonna say it it's not dramatic at all. I was in this. We lived in California, and I was I was quote unquote in an earthquake because I woke up and my parents told me we were in an earthquake, and I had a picture of Michael Jordan, and it fell off the wall and it cracked. That's the only thing that happened.
Damn.
So it was it wasn't bad by any stretch, but it did knock the picture of MJ off the wall and cracked the glass, which was unfortunate, but. I slept through it. I didn't realize what was going on, so couldn't have been that bad. But
yeah.
I mean, I would assume if they're bad enough, they make some noise. But I think you're probably worried about the shaking more so than the sounds.
Exactly.
If it's bad enough. But no, rain. So all that to say, rain in the evenings, thunderstorms in the evenings is freaking fire. It's the best. But all right, so this is a Pokemon podcast. This is a PLC podcast specifically, But Jay,
Listen, man, we're at the end. We got to find something to fill up the minutes. You know what I mean? Just
exactly.
a little something, just to kind of stall before we get into the appetizer.
Right,
No,
right.
the entree. Excuse me. You got to give you the appetizer and the entree. I'm not a cooking guy. I'm telling you, in that cooking channel, you're not gonna see me. You're
Yeah,
not at all. Like you're
that's
not
the
gonna
one
see
that I'm
me.
not gonna be as active in. That's for
Mhm.
sure.
I'm like, have you ever played like a Tears of the Kingdom or like Breath of the Wild, Jordan?
Yeah, I played Breath of the Wild. Yeah,
All right, you know how when you mix a bunch of like weird stuff together, the
it's
dish
like
that appears like
it's like
it's
some
like that
random
blurred
stuff.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it's like that blurred out. That's literally me. That's literally everything I make. Like if it's not a bowl of cereal or a grilled cheese or any type of sandwich,
Yeah, yeah.
then I'm just like the worst. But I will say this is another reference. I promise you, when we start the pod, I promise y'all. But in the Lilo and Stitch cartoon, right on Disney,
hmm
Stitch had a cousin who was like a part of the evil side. I forgot what his number was. I think it was like 625. 625. And you remember he used to be like the sandwich guy? That's
hmm
all he would do is just make sandwiches. Just every single episode he would just make sandwiches. That's literally me. That's
I,
literally my twin.
I don't. I remember that show because it was like it was an actual show. It wasn't the movies, and it
Yes,
was
it
like
was.
on
I'm
Disney.
a.
Yeah, I
I'm
can't
a. I'm
remember
gonna
it.
send. I'm gonna send you a picture right now. Hold on.
I'm gonna see if I remember it based on if I see
You
it.
you 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 have. He's in every episode
Oh,
with
he's
just a bunch of
yellow.
sandwiches.
You know,
Exactly.
I don't
Yes.
really remember him though, unfortunately.
Don't. Okay. Wait. Stare at this. 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 Stare at this.
Yo,
Stare
real
at this.
quick,
Stare at this.
Lilo and Stitch though, that movie is freaking amazing. Like
Oh, of course.
Disney is next level. Disney and Pixar, they're like their movies are unbelievable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have in their writers room or whatever, like they are incredible. It's
I don't.
unbelievable.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but what's your top three Pixar movies?
Pixar?
Yeah, Disney
All right.
Pixar. Excuse me.
Okay. Well, so
I have to look at a list of all of them, and I'll give you
I
mine. Hold
would
on.
too. Yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna do that because Disney, I can tell you, I love Mulan, Hercules, and I don't know about the third, but I love Mulan and Hercules. Those freaking movies
Hmm.
are amazing. Um,
Top five. Top three is a little like restrictive. I'm just
yeah,
like,
but I mean, then my mind goes to like the classics. Like, I don't want to feel like a boomer, but like Lion King, Aladdin, those are freaking good movies. But at the same time, I feel like I'm not taking the new
yeah.
stuff into consideration. We saw one like Turning
What's the?
Red was good. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It was just they're all amazing. I don't
Yeah.
even know like where to go.
I feel like for the new stuff, for me, my number one is what's the one? Coco hit different.
Oh,
I'll say,
Coco's nice.
I'll
Yeah.
say that. I was like, I don't know what it was. And I saw this movie. When this movie come out, I think I was like 20 something when Coco came out, and what? I was in that theater, bro. I was like, God damn
Yeah.
it! Like I was
Seriously.
what? I was like, that's just hard. I
No,
think I
seriously though.
let me see. I'm looking at the list. Yeah, there's so many like Up is there. That's one of the newer kind of
So
ones.
I
You
actually
got
haven't
the
seen Up, which is I don't know if that's
Oh
yeah. I heard
no,
it's
you
rough.
got it's a beautiful story,
Yeah.
but it is a tearjerker,
That's one I
most
haven't
definitely.
seen though. But no,
I
like
think
I
I
tear
think you
up.
should get the family and watch it immediately.
That's
But
actually not a
continue.
bad
Sorry about
idea.
that.
No, we should do that soon. And I actually think we will because we're again the girls are on summer. We kind of talked about that a minute ago on
Hmm.
summer break, and we've got nothing but time right now, so we will do that. But no, I cry at every. I'm the worst. I cry at like the stupidest things.
What do you mean?
I cry like if I watch a movie that's even halfway emotional, I cry. It's like I can't stop. So like all these
Ye-
Disney movies, they're all tearjerkers for me. And sometimes
Exactly.
like now I'm realizing that I like tear up because I think about what the movie meant to me as a kid, and
Exactly.
it impacts me now in a different way. It's crazy.
Hmm.
No, I'm looking at there's like so many Disney movies. I found a list. There's like 700 like
Bro, I feel like I looked at the same one and I'm just like, wow, there's like Toy
yeah,
Stories. Toy Story's there. You gotta like I feel like that's you have to include Toy Story. I'm
right.
just one of those people. I know you said Mulan. That was a banger. I have a soft spot for Cars. I feel like Cars doesn't get talked about as
Yeah.
much as the other ones, which
No,
makes
Cars
me a
is really
little
good.
upset.
I don't know if I've seen the third Cars movie though. I've seen Cars 2.
yeah, I think it's okay. I don't
Really?
think. Yeah, I don't think it's as good as the other two, but I think it's okay. It's a nice little story about transitioning.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I see, like that's what all their movies are about. It's like always in a period of transition from childhood to adolescence, adolescence to adulthood. And it's life is life is beautiful
Hmm.
when you can like when you really look at it, life is amazing. And they do a
Oh,
really good
100%.
job of like showing that. It's really crazy. Life's hard, but life can be amazing and they do a great
Yeah,
job
man.
putting that out there.
Mm.
But see, this list has like Thor the Dark World. That's not
Hell
necessarily.
no.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Thor the
Like
Thor the Thor
like
the
it's
Dark
that's
World.
not Disney. When you think
That's
Disney
math.
Pixar, that's not what you
Buddy.
think of. So
Thor
this
the Dark World is crazy.
yeah, this
And
list is a little
that's
crazy.
isn't that like the worst of the Marvel movies? It's like the whole what's I'm looking for? The majority of people believe that's the worst of the one. That one, and a lot of people didn't like. What's the one with the that came out like after the whole Thanos thing?
It was
It's
the
something with an I, and it's about a group of them, and they've been around for mad years.
yeah, like
What are they called?
the
The Immortals? It's not the Immortals. It's
it
something like
might be
that,
the
right?
Immortals actually. Hold on. I think it is Immortals, yeah. Nope, Immortals not. I just searched for it. I didn't see it. Captain Marvel. I heard people didn't like that.
A lot, but people don't like that because people just don't like the actress.
Yeah, she's kind of
I mean,
comes
yeah,
off as
she be tripping.
conceited or something. Yeah.
Yeah, she be kind of tripping at times. Not gonna lie to you. What the hell is this thing called, bro?
I want to say oh no, nope, not Elemental. Nope, I lied. Hold on.
Elementals. That's one about the fire, trying to get with the water.
Yeah, that movie was good too actually. We watched that.
I I shouldn't see that. I saw the previews though. The
And that
movie
movie
was
was
good.
pretty good. Again, it's just like it's I don't know, it was just good. I'll leave it at that. It was a good movie. Eternals, that's what it is.
Eternals,
Yep, Eternals.
Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that shit was bad, bro. I heard a lot
Yeah.
of people didn't like it. I didn't see it myself, so I honestly can't judge it.
My wife
But I heard
watched it
them.
and I kind of like tuned in a little bit and it just didn't catch my attention. It reminded
Mhm.
me of a DC Comics movies,
Yeah.
how they're like
Mhm.
I feel like the CGI and stuff is a little weird in those. I feel like that's kind of
Yeah.
how Eternals was, but
Mhm.
yeah, I mean technically it was Disney, but no, I don't know. I'd have to sit down and take a look at like actual
It's
Disney Pixar movies to come up with a
it's
nice list, but they make
it's
some
okay.
great stuff.
That'll be our task for next pod.
Right. I'm down.
If I lose, I'm not making no fucking list though. I just want to try to know that. I just want to try to know that right now. If I lose, I'm not making anything. I'm not showing up. I'm not doing anything. I'm doing what everybody else does when they lose, and
That's
y'all just
funny.
won't see. Y'all might not even see me at the cookout. That's all I'm
Right,
saying.
right.
If I lose, I'm not going. I'm not spending $400 to not get
That's
a
funny.
trophy. That's
Right,
all I'm
right.
saying. Is that
No, that's
petty?
fair.
Most definitely. But
But we get
but
it. We all get it.
exactly, you know what I mean. But it's okay. If any, I'll be. I'll FaceTime you. No, I'm joking. We'll see.
No,
We'll
that's
see.
funny.
But
Y-
thank you guys if you guys are still tuning in,
Right.
for this. But you know who else cried this week?
Couple
Klefki.
players.
But
Yeah.
we'll get to that later. Continue, Jordan.
Well, yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. So what we'll do is you and I will come up with a list, five best Disney Pixar movies, and we want you guys, the listeners, to do that too. Drop it in Discord because that's freaking awesome. So, okay, so here we go. We had two matches last week. We are in the finals week. PLC season 9 finals are taking place this week. Jay is a finalist, and he's going up
Yes,
against
sir.
Mike. Congratulations, Jay, making it out
Thank
of
you.
semis. We're going to talk about the finals matchup in just a few, but first, before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about last week. So, the semifinals were last week. We had the Battle of the Brothers on one side of the bracket, and then we had Dan and Jay in the other side of the bracket. So, the first match we'll talk about real quick is Reese and Mike, Battle of the Brothers. This is a rivalry match. This is a named rivalry match, which is cool. And I mentioned last week that I was looking for like when Mike won because he had 2 wins in the playoffs versus Reese versus Reese's 4. And the 2 times that they played previously, Reese actually won those 2 games to 1. So that explains Reese's 4 wins and then Mike's 2 wins. So I was looking for a third matchup that never existed. So they played twice. This is the third time playing. And Jay, you called Mike winning by 3. I called Reese winning by 3. And Mike does win 2-0. Jay, do you want to talk about the kind of circumstances that led to that 2-0 victory?
Yeah, for those of you who didn't tune into the stream, the reason that it is a 2-0 technically what we were told and what we saw on the replay is that Mike won game one, Aris won game two. However, in game two, Aris had brought Murkrow and I believe what's the other Pokemon he brought with the EVO Jordan? What's the
I'm not sure which one it was. Sorry.
what's the thing? It's okay. Let me look it up right now. It was the Murkrow and it was also the Porygon 2, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. Porygon 2. Both with Eviolite, and previously, I think at one point Reese had brought two weakness policies in a match. I think that week it was against SB, and SB had kind of said that it really didn't matter. It wouldn't in their match didn't really have any effect on it. So that was kind of the first warning. After that first warning, if the rule is violated again, then that results in an auto loss. So even though in the footage we saw on stream, Reese did win game two, but per PLC rules, the double item I think kind of had a little bit of an effect as well. I think just because the Murkrow, I don't know, the Murkrow got doubled up, so I don't really know. But just because it's a rule violation, he does take the auto loss no matter the outcome of the match. We spoke to both players; they both agreed with the ruling. They both acknowledged it. Maurice said that again he'd be cool with giving Mike the win. And at that point it was just we just needed both parties to agree. Both parties agreed, and that resulted in Mike winning in a 2-0 fashion.
Yep. And I think again Jay mentioned it, but just kind of further dive in, like we always take both parties into consideration when looking at like, okay, what happened? What's the situation? What happened? So okay, this is the situation. Mike wins game one. Reese, with these two items in game two, has the prior history of the two items. They both really didn't necessarily want to drag out and play another game, potentially go into 4 games. Because again, everyone gets a little burnt out as it gets closer to the end of the season. You've been playing for 3 and 4 months, and they were both like, you know what, let's just go ahead and Mike can go ahead and take this game 2 victory that gives him the 2-0, and let's just keep it moving. So that's what we did. So congratulations to Mike for taking down Aris. And actually, what I thought was interesting is that Aris was undefeated to that point in the season, like completely undefeated. And then Mike goes in and
Yeah,
wins game one. It's like,
exactly.
all
And
right,
that's
good stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's cool.
And that's where you say, some people may like say some things about like, oh, like I guess that doesn't really count. Because like, at the end of the day, it's like, again, I think that's a great point, Jordan. Again, like this man was 14-0
Yeah.
going into that set. 12-0 regular season, 2-0 playoffs. So just being able to even get that one win, it showed that Mike had, even if the set continue, Mike had a great chance to take that
Right.
as well. And I don't think that should be held against him at all in case anyone has any doubts or anything like that.
No, exactly. I feel like naturally we want to see things play out in like, all right, let's go to game 3 and who clutches up. And you know what?
Hmm.
We liked the ruling. Everyone was cool with the ruling, and Mike goes into his. It's not his first finals appearance, but he goes in and this finals matchup is really exciting. So speaking of the finals matchup, Jay, why don't you go ahead and tackle that second matchup from last week since it was yours?
Yeah. So with this one, it was me against Dan. Dan's a solid player. I always feel bad because I'm like, whenever Dan's in a match, I feel like I don't pick him often. It's not a personal thing. It's just how I go, like feeling about the week. But I think he's a very solid player. I think when he's on, he's one of the best. I know he's very into a lot of the VGC stuff going on as well, just keeping his skills sharp. Props to him on that. This was a tough set. I think I had a game plan going in. I guess start with game one briefly. Game one's plan was just at some point just get a Swords Dance on King Gambit, just let it eat. Um, I was really worried, and Jordan, you were there for this from the prep. I was really worried about the Will-O-Wisps, the Drifblim, Arcanine, the Rotom. I think the big kind of controversial turn on stream was the Sunny Day from the Klefki and the Terra Steel on the Rotom, which then led to myself Terra Stealing my Pelipper to tank the Thunderbolt and going for the Weather Ball to kill the Rotom after Overquill Crunch. Um, Rough turn, for Dan. I'm
Right.
not gonna lie to you. Very rough turn. To his credit, um, he probably just didn't know. that's just what I'm gonna assume. He probably just didn't know. I know there was a lot of talk on stream about the reason for that, Tara. Again, I was just on the opposite side. I don't know what exactly what the thought process was on that. I just assumed he didn't know, and just to kind of save the save the Rotom from taking big damage from a gunk shot, I assumed that's why he went with the Terra Steel. Because again, you can't really swap out because anything he swaps out to, Electabuzz, Roaring Moon, Iron Valiant, Sash gets broken, it dies probably to the next turn. I think he also, what else did he have? That team, I forgot. There's something else he had on that team that I'm forgetting. But so I guess that's like he felt like that was an only out, and I've been there before. Honestly, like it's really hard sometimes when you feel like when you lead kind of poorly and things kind of spiral out. Not saying he led poorly, but just saying like sometimes if you feel like you lead poorly,
Mm-hmm.
then things kind of spiral. So I think I'm just assuming he didn't know. Very rough turn. At that point, once the Rotom went down, it was just like Pelipper did his job. I wasn't necessarily too focused on the rain, like or the changing of the rain, even just because now I'm just like he didn't have Arcanine in the back, so the fire moves weren't powered up. Um, I had no Terra, but again he also had no Terra as well. And once I saw the opportunity just to get Clefairy and King Gambit on the field, Clefairy just taking those hits from the Leaf Storm and the Iron Head, that was clutch because that's what ended up killing the Roaring Moon, and I was able to Swords Dance. And then kind of just go on to sweep with King Gambit and the rest of the squad. Won by 3-0, I believe, game one. Game two, for me, I thought I lost the first turn, to be honest
Mm-hmm.
with you. That's usually not the best one to have, but I thought I knew what he was going to do. Um, just, again, so with that turn, the whole point was if he leads the Superior and the Gothitelle, which is fine, the Gothitelle is either gonna fake out or it's gonna imprison. And I was like, that's okay because I'm not running Trick Room on the Hatterene. I'm just running Calm Mind and like some Dazzling Gleam Psychic. And I led with Ursaluna just so like he could think I go Trick Room so he can waste the first turn in prison instead of faking out, which would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
It worked. The problem is just that the Gato also had a psychic as well. So when I doubled up on the superior, I couldn't kill it because I couldn't psychic it pretty much. So at
Right.
that point, now I have no speed advantage. I can't switch Ursaluna out because of Shadow Tag. Not only that, I can't protect with Ursaluna because Gato also has protect. So that's three major moves sealed off. Again, there was a lot of talk about the following turns, about what Dan did, and I'm just gonna assume he didn't know. If I was in the situation, I probably would have continued being aggressive with the superior. I thought those first couple turns I played terrible, to be honest with you. I should have calm minded um, as soon as turn one ended. When he went for the Giga Drain, that was a major boost, just because it just allowed me to do unnecessary damage with like Hatterene and Ursaluna, and I think it took it. I think he took it. Took yeah, he took Ursaluna out the next turn, but at that point the Superior was just very wounded. I think I killed the Gothitelle as well. In those turns, what had ended up happening was I lost both Pokemon, and I was down four four to five, I believe, and it was looking rough, but I still had a pretty solid four in the back of what happened in the back, Jordan.
You
What
had
happened in the
Pelipper,
back?
Archaludon, Basculegion, and Sneasler.
Okay, Basket Legion was clutch just because it was what killed the Superior with Aqua Jet. Because again, I noticed he didn't bring Psychic Terrain, which makes sense. I have pretty solid Dark types. Um, and I kind of had to sacrifice Basket Legion right there. So I think Hatterene went down with Basket Legion the same turn. So I had three Pokemon left. Pelipper Archaludon, which is those two by themselves could probably sweep a game if like Archaludon gets going. And I think just being able to get the one Electro shot off on the Iron Valiant, that really was clutch because not only did I kill it, um, I also was able to then Draco Meteor the Arcanine, which I'm 95% sure was assault vested, and after a close combat, which I was able to tank. once that happened, I knew after maybe like another stamina boost, he couldn't kill me with the Roaring Moon, and he also had the Klefki, which I was fine with because either two things happen: either he doesn't change the weather, and I just spam Electro Shot, and if he Terra Flying, he gets hit by Electro Shot, or he changes the weather. I can still body press with a stamina boost, and that still does major damage to the moon, and then I can weather ball the Klefki again, kind of like I did game one. And when with this field, I was able to set Tailwind, and at that point, I knew I kind of had it in the bag. Because let's say if he calls out Chaladon, and I think at the end I double targeted Klefki because I needed the Klefki to die just because I knew that Sneasler could beat the Roaring Moon if I had Tailwind up. So it's just
Hmm.
like I just needed one turn of something living, whether it be a Chaladon or Pelipper, so I can either fake out the next turn the Roaring Moon, or I can just make him double target something, either Pelipper or Sneasler or Chaladon or Sneasler. But either hit from one of them would have been able to kill the dragon at that point with the health it had. So yeah, I for me I thought again those first couple of turns I didn't play well at all. I think I kind of really picked it up as I got the boost. And again, just props to Dan, man. Again, I know there was a lot of talk about just also the end of the match with the battle was canceled. I consider it like your comment, Jordan, was a graceful bow out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There was a little bit of shenanigans on stream when that had happened. But again, man, just I get it. Things like that happen. Uh, but I think he's a fantastic player. I think you always have to be on your guard. You have to prep very well against him because he has a lot of stuff that can catch you if you're not ready for it. So I hope, and again, I don't think he was very hard on himself. I think he's gonna go enjoy his time playing the BGC ladder as well as the lovely beaches in Cancun. Um,
Hey.
so again, it's okay then. It's okay. I'm just gonna the weather ball. It's okay. Things happen.
Yeah, no, Jay, thank you for the recap. We appreciate it. It was a good set. There's a few things I want to mention. So the first is that Dan did clarify he has one off-season championship, so that's cool. And I know I joked and said I would forget, but I didn't. So Dan, that's dope. Um, two, so if you look at the matchup like in a vacuum, right?
Mhm.
You have Rain, I have Prankster. I can change
Mhm.
the weather, right? You led Rain turn one. I had my Prankster user out. It makes sense, right? Like you naturally you're sending out your Rain because you want to abuse the Rain. You don't have Drizzle on your Pelipper for nothing, right? So I'm thinking that I can disrupt your plans by changing the weather. So
Mhm.
it's a good like again in a vacuum it makes sense. The the Terra Steel like who would have guessed that Pelipper had weather ball? I just think that that's a very sure. Yeah, does Pelipper run it occasionally? It's probably a lower percentage um, move. It's not like every Pelipper has it. So who's to say that yours did? Um, in hindsight, it's easy to say, oh yeah, duh, he's gonna have weather ball, and then you Terra Steel naturally. Well, I just think that in a vacuum it makes sense. You have rain.
Mhm.
I have a weather changer that has prankster. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I bring that. I actually don't necessarily like again the weather ball play, whatever. I actually was kind of confused about the Terra Steel on turn one in game one though, because
Mhm.
Rotom was kind of like again like you don't want to take the huge gunk shot. I get that, but I don't know. I just thought that was a very it wasn't like if I remember correctly, the Rotom wasn't
Mhm.
it wasn't in front of a grass type. You know what I mean? So I just don't know if I fully
Well,
understand that. But
I'll so I'll say this, and I think this is kind of like something that again I've heard from other people. I think when they face my team in the past, is that I don't have a fire type, so
mm,
it's like there's no real.
okay,
I don't want to say like threat when it comes to just overall like the sun. Again, the
yeah,
sun, if anything, it hinders my team to like the maximum degree.
right,
The
right,
problem is just, and I think this is what I think Ian had mentioned this on stream is just even just like I don't know. Like I don't really want to like say like it was a bad terror because again I'm not the circumstances and what happened afterwards, it of course came out rough,
Mm.
but there also could have been another part where it's like I can't kill that Rotom now
Right,
because
right.
I don't have a fighting type or a fire type, and now it's just like that.
You can't hit it with
Um,
levitate, or you can't hit it with the.
exactly,
Yeah,
e-
exactly.
exactly. And so I can't hit it with like an Earth power or something like that,
Right,
right?
right.
I think
So
I don't
it,
know.
it makes, yeah, like in a different world where your Pelipper has wide guard instead of
Yeah,
you're in a different spot entirely, and that
yeah,
Terra Steel looks
and
amazing. That's a good. Yep, yep.
and I'll just say this, and I think this is the reason why I think it was like a thing on stream was because again, if you've watched the matches, and I didn't upload my replay against Zach because Zach recorded it, but I think when I faced Stephen B, I also the weather ball is not a secret, but again, it's just like you can't expect someone to, you know what I mean? To like run the same thing
Right.
over again.
Hmm.
I just like to, but I like to run weather ball just for that purpose. Even when I just use Pelipper when I'm just like online, it's because
Right.
let's say if I see a Venusaur, I'm gonna smack that Venusaur. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
it's just things. It's just things like that. But again, it's just like the I'm not sure what the thought process was. I knew he regretted it because from the conversations after the set.
Hmm.
And again, it would like the Terra Electric made more sense, and I get where Ian was coming from when he made that comment. It's just at that point there's no like weakness because again, levitate
Right.
there's no that. It's just yeah, it's just again, I just think it's just like one of those very rough things. I consider it like when you're trying to switch something out and someone either reads the switch or you switch something out and you just get hit by something you're not expecting with, and then
Yeah.
Pokemon you brought in either gets like
Demolished or.
takes
Hmm.
demolished or takes big damage. And I just
Right.
think that's like that kind of falls under like that same category. Well, I personally I wouldn't have done it. The reason why I teared the Pelipper when I did was because I just knew I could kill the Rotom. And once I knew the Rotom was gone, I know what can really stop King Gambit. That was just my thought process. Because as soon as that happened, almost like immediately, I forgot something else died. I think Clefairy died. I sent Clefairy and King out immediately, and at that point, I just kind of like it was swords dancing and kowtowing and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, like again, when you're trying to make a play, trying to make a read, things like that just happened again. I think it was just a very unfortunate turn.
Right. Right. Just unfortunate set of circumstances where it's like
Exactly.
the Terra makes sense because I've eliminated my weaknesses, but at the same time, in preparing for your team, I bit myself. Um, in I
Yeah.
prepped, but then I counter prepped myself without really realizing it. So I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only thing. So, and it's also easy to again, I feel like this happens maybe not quite a bit, but it definitely can happen where if you know the outcome, that kind of colors how you perceive the match as it's occurring.
Exactly.
So it's
Hmm.
like we know what happens at the end. So it's like, oh, shouldn't have done that. When it's like, I mean, who's to say in the moment that wasn't a good call? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Maybe
yeah.
because again, maybe he thought the win con was, and I think, and to this even, I remember like you're my witness when it because we prepped together, but like the the Rotom had me scared. Like you know,
Right.
again, there was one of the three things that I needed. I knew I had to like kill off the bat.
Right.
But it's like maybe he saw that and maybe he's just like, oh, let me try to protect it as best I can. Because again, like Overcool ain't no slouch, bro. The thing hits pretty hard. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that set in particular, I brought the wrong set. I meant to bring the I meant to bring the Bar Barrage set instead of, and it was why I ran the Intimidate instead of the Swift Swim.
Yeah.
But like it hits fairly hard, and it's like it can't. Rotom itself can't take like it could take hits, but it's just like pretty strong 120 base stab attacks with
Hmm.
like decent attack. Like you know what I mean? So maybe again, I think he was just trying to protect the Rotom, and I don't think he had anything else to kind of kill Pelipper except for
Right.
Thunderbolt. But again, once the Terra Steel on his part came out, that was kind of the ghost signal. Like, okay, I gotta kill this. And then I think you just made a great point. It's like again, in the moment, we don't really know what was going through his head, what he was strategizing in that time. And it's like, and it's like things like that happen.
Right. Right. No, I think that no, he clearly prepped, and maybe he in prep realized that his Rotom is a good mon to bring to this match, and he wanted
Yeah.
to protect it by all means. But again, just it's just unfortunate. But the last thing I wanted to mention real quick too is just like the disconnect at the end of the game. So it kind of like two things. The first is that like we in the PLC discourage disconnects because we want to see the battle play out for the plus minus and things like that and whatever. So we've had a couple seasons where it's like, hey, don't disconnect, let the battle play out. Even if you have no win con, just let it play out. Get the plus minus whatever. But at the same time, like I had a battle earlier this season where I took the L. I think it was against Brian, and in my match, like in my recording, I didn't run, but I cut the recording before the game even like really finished. It's because it's just like I got tilted. I was just like, I can't do it, man. Whatever. You guys saw the match, I'm out, and I cut it. You know what I mean? So it's like I definitely understand. I know we've all felt that feeling, and so no, I don't have any issues with that. It's and again, playoffs, the plus minus doesn't really matter anyway. So it's like, yeah, it's just it is what it is. But then on the other hand, so this is the thing I dropped in chat. I know Dan plays VGC. I'm kind of in tune with the VGC scene. A lot of us are. And in VGC, and we kind of spoke about this just a little bit ago, but it's like a quick run to get away from the battle is not necessarily, it's not frowned upon by any stretch. And it's also like in VGC, it's a best of 3 always. So it's like, why am I going to stall out any longer in this game 2? I need to go ahead and get my mind right for game 3. Go ahead and run. And my brain's immediately switching. Okay, I just lost that. Why did I lose it? Let me get ready for game 3. Okay, this is what I can do better. So it's like, it's just a different mentality. So perhaps Dan, again, it's not like a frustration thing, a salt thing, but it's like just, I don't know. Maybe it's we're creatures of habit. You know what I mean? So it's like maybe just plays VGC and left and didn't think much of it. So either way, I didn't really have much of an issue with it. But yeah, that is Jay versus Dan in the semifinals. Jay, you are going to finals. How do you feel?
Yes, sir. I feel pretty good, man. I feel pretty good. That was a longer than when I expected to be talking. My apologies if
No, it's all good.
I was dragging on
No,
listeners,
no,
but
no.
no, it's cool, man. This is first time back in finals, I believe, since season 6. Season 7. What happened season 7? Season 7 we made it to quarters, I believe.
Yeah, I
Didn't
think I
make it to
made
semis.
finals in season 7. I played Zach and I lost.
It's like, listen, man. Things like that happen. You know what I
Right.
mean? You still got a ring. You still got one. I have
Right,
none.
right.
I need to if we both get a ring, the credibility of the podcast like it just skyrockets.
Yo,
Like,
goes through the
'cause-
roof.
you know what I mean? Cause then we could be like, yo, out of the 4 heads on the Mount Rushmore of PLC, we got 2 of them.
Right,
But
exactly.
again, that's if the kid
We
can,
got to
can
get
bring
you
it
there.
home.
Exactly. We got to get you there.
Exactly. So if the kid can bring it home, I think I have great opposition in front of me. I think Mike's been playing really well. I think his team since that last wire is absolutely stacked.
Hmm.
The synergy that team possesses is insane. Um, having double terrain is nice. As well, having Iron Hands. Iron Hands is like one of the coolest, to me, one of the coolest Pokemon. Just to seeing it like doing everything it does, just in the competitive scene. And also, it's like a robot sumo, which is like really cool, um, as well. As well as just seeing the things he kind of created a core with the Indeedee, the Armarouge. You know what I mean? That's also pretty cool. I look at Gastron and I just get upset, to be honest with you, immediately. And yeah, just to see like, pretty solid squad over there. And you know, I think he has some hitters. To my credit, I think I also have some hitters. So I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a pretty solid set, man. It's gonna be a pretty solid set. Um, me, me and Mike are cool. You know what I mean? We talk a lot about One Piece, not as much as we used to, but again, life. He's out here placing extremely high in some of the best Tekken tournaments in the world.
Really though,
Going
yep.
against some of the best players in the world, previous Evo champs, things like that. So he's doing well for himself. And if he plays, not if he plays Pokemon as good as he plays Tekken. So I'm being for a fight, man. But I'm looking forward to it.
No, it's gonna be a good time. Like this set is great. So let's get into a little bit of history real fast. So
Mhm.
this is a named rivalry. So again, we love these named rivalries. Like I'm a huge fan of them. This is so freaking cool to me. So this is what is it? The B I want to say BYOT
BOTYB.
BY. Okay, you got it. So I had the letters right in my mind, but I just didn't have
No
them
worries.
in the proper order.
That's that's
Um,
that's just what I'm here for.
right, right. So yeah, this is the BOTYB. This is the Battle of the Young Bucks. So Jay, how did we get the Battle of the Young Bucks name? That's what people are asking. And I'll,
Oh, people are
I,
asking me? Oh my
no,
bad.
no, no. I
I
want to
got
start
you.
it real fast. I want to start it, and I want
Okay,
you to kind
okay.
of finish it up. So, Battle of the
I
Young
got you, I got
Bucks.
you.
We start the PLC in 2015. Okay, so in
Wow, goddamn.
2015, seriously though, almost 10 years. So I reach out to a few college buddies, and Reese is one of those college buddies, and I say, "Yo, like, you guys might kind of think this is a little lame, but I think in conversation, like, I've realized that you guys play Pokemon, and I play Pokemon, and that was kind of like, again, it wasn't really like cool to play Pokemon at that time. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I'm a young adult. Like, hey, I think you guys play Pokemon. Like, here's a weird thought. Do you guys want to get together and play Pokemon? It's kind
Mhm.
of a strange thing, but I reached out to again a couple college buddies, and Reese was one of those buddies, and everyone was like, "Yeah, I do play Pokemon. Yeah, yeah, I'm a fan actually. I do play. Blah blah blah, whatever." So we start this group, and I kind of expressed, "Hey, like this is what I want to do: regular season, postseason, blah blah blah, whatever." And that's kind of how the group gets like formally started, right? And then we just kind of add people here and there, and Aris adds his younger brother, Mike, right? So Aris and I were like in our mid 20s at that point. Mike's a couple years younger than Aris, so he's a young buck in our eyes. And at that point, he's a young buck, right? So then things kind of get started. Ian gets into the group, and we start season one. So we have season one, we have 5 players: me, Ian, Aris, Mike, and a guy named Will. And we don't really talk about we don't really talk about Will much anymore.
Well, man,
No, Will. Will's
that's bad.
we got some love for Will. No issues with Will at all. So, but it's us. It's the 5 of us. And Jay, this is where I want you to pick up the story because we started
Mhm.
season one with I think it was 8. I think it was an eight
Yeah.
week regular season. And Jay, when did you come into the PLC? Like Will introduced you, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken, right?
Yeah, man. I go into my origin story a little bit. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. Go ahead. Yep, we want to hear that.
I was in another Pokemon group. I believe 2016. I believe. I don't know.
That
Was
sounds
that
about
X
right.
and Y or was that X and Y or was that Sun and Moon? It
I
was one of the
think
two. I know
yeah, I
for a
think we
fact it
played
was.
X. No, well, X and Y I think was our first season, and then we moved into Oris. So
Mhm.
before
Right,
Sun and Moon
right, right.
even. So,
Source. Mhm.
but I think it was X
Right.
and Y though.
So at the time, I think the big thing about X and Y was the friend safari, where if you
Hmm.
add someone, you know what I mean, you get a cool little Pokemon, like 3 Pokemon of a certain type appear. And it was cool. 'Cause you get like starters and stuff like that. So like at the time, Facebook groups were a big thing, just adding people, exchanging. And I had met Will, and I don't know, we kind of just like really hit it off, and we were just like, hey man, do you just want to
I think
battle?
it
And it's
was
like,
probably your political views, right?
I mean, well, that was more down the line, you
Down the
know, that was a little
line.
more down the
Right,
line. That
right,
was before you know,
right. Before the world went
you
crazy,
know,
but yeah, that's funny.
exactly before the world went crazy.
That's
Um,
funny.
up to that point, like I knew about EVs, IVs, you know, natures and all that, but it was never really like, oh, like I would go for like, you know, natures, but I wouldn't really go for like EVs and IVs. I wasn't really sure how to do it, to be honest with you. And then as I got more into like the different groups, it kind of made more sense. I was able to do it myself finally. I also had an action replay at the time, RIP, to kind of help me out as well. But I would face Will every now and then, and he was like, "You're pretty good," and I was really bad at the time. Like, you're pretty good. So he was like, "Hey, like I have this group, and like we do like draft leagues." And for me, that was a point where on YouTube the I think A Drive was very doing like a lot of draft leagues at the time. He had like his own kind of thing. And they all
Yeah,
had really cool like logos and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, man, I'd love to try that. Like, why not? And I think I came in like 1 week after week one,
right.
and I remember, you know, like I didn't really know this, and it was funny because I was just like, hey, like I noticed you guys have an odd number of players, so it's like someone still has them battle jet. You know what I mean? So I was like, if you guys need someone, like, you know,
Like I'm right here. Yeah.
exactly. I was told to fuck off. No, I'm joking. I was told to fuck off. I was told I was told nah. Essentially, you know, it's just
Right,
nah. You know,
right.
we already had the schedule made, everything like that. So I was like, that makes sense. I was still in the group. I would still like notice things. Like I remember, I don't know if you did this, Jordan, or someone else did this, but you guys would do graphics
Yeah, I did
every
the
week.
little elementary graphics for the first little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember they would have like everybody's record and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and all that cool stuff. And I remember it was funny because I remember seeing a Reese score like 5-0. I was like, damn, that guy's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I just never knew. Um, yeah, and I kind of just stayed around. I was looking at stuff. I think I caught like the final stream of that season, and I thought it was really cool. So then when season two came around, I believe that's when Zach and myself kind of entered the fold. And at the time, age-wise, when I came for season one, I was a freshman in college. That was
Yep.
2015. Freshman going into college. When I played my first season, I was a sophomore in college. And I remember because Jordan, I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if I ever told you about this or I brought it up again. We were doing a practice battle or we were playing an actual battle. I forgot what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the smoke alarm, there was like a fire drill in my dorm, so I had to close the game. So I had to close the game out. I think it was like a practice match,
Dang.
and something like that. I don't know if you remember that, but that's a little bit of a throwback. And that was kind of like my first PLC season. It was also my first experience with double battles as well. Um, that was just a strictly singles player at the time. So at that point, me and Mike were the youngest. My birthday's in March. Mike's birthday's in May, I'm pretty sure. So like, I was older for like 2 months before
Yeah.
that. And again after a while, like we kinda just started yeah, we faced off. I think I won our first matchup actually. Um and then he's kinda I feel like he won everyone after that. Except for season seven, I think that's when I got the W back at that point. Um and yeah, after a while we started talking about other things. We talked a lot about music. We got really into like manga and stuff, One Piece, things like that. There was a point where me and Mike would talk about like the One Piece chapter, literally almost every single week that it came out. We would like hit each other up like, "Yo, did you read did you read the chapter?" And
I think I
I think that
remember
was
that.
like
Yeah.
and we would like always talk about it and like we were always like we would be the One Piece defense squad in the group, and everyone would be like slandering it and not giving it a chance, and everyone who gave it a chance loved it. Off topic, I had to just make that clear. But yeah, so it's like Mike's my boy. It was really awesome meeting him in person for the first time when I came up to Charlotte that this past January, and it
Mm-hmm.
was nice, man. It was really nice. And yeah, that's kind of like my little PLC origin story right there.
But no, that's cool though. So it's like again, you were in college, Mike was in college. You guys have since
Mhm.
both graduated. You guys have since,
Mhm.
now you guys are the young adults that we were 9 years ago. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of cool to see like how far we've come as a group. Because again, that's
Mhm.
going back 2015, 2016, and that's
Mhm.
9, 8, 9 years
That's
ago.
9 years, man.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
exactly.
Think
It's
about it
freaking
now.
wild. It really is crazy. And I did look back.
Mhm.
So season two, you guys played in week 12, the week of
And
May
wait,
1st
and
through
that
May
was,
5th.
and I don't want to brag, and that was a 5-0, right?
No, it was a 2-0.
Damn. Never mind.
It was a 2-0. But Jay, you beat Mike. You guys were the matchup number one that week, and you had two Pokemon remaining. I can't really tell you. I can't tell you about last week's battles, let alone battles from season two. But I can tell you that Jay did win that first matchup by two. So
Nice.
good stuff.
I'm pretty
But
sure I
Jay,
lost everyone after that.
so that's the next thing I wanted to speak to really quickly. So you and Mike, you've been playing since season two. Mike was one of the
Mhm.
season one OGs, and you guys have basically been playing like almost every season since, right?
Mhm.
And throughout PLC history, Mike's beat you, Jay,
Mhm.
4 times in the regular season. You
God
beat him
damn.
twice.
Mhm.
You beat him twice though,
Mhm.
so that's
Mhm.
4-2. Mike's 4-2. You're 2-4, whatever. But let's talk about the only matchup that you guys have in playoffs. Actually, you know what? I didn't think about it. Did you guys play season 8? Mike didn't play season 8, right?
No,
Yeah.
we both didn't play season 8.
Okay. So yeah, there's you 4-2 is the proper record. Okay, cool. So the only matchup you guys have in the playoffs, let's talk about this really quickly, um, is season 3. So Jay,
Mhm.
we kind of spoke briefly about season 3 just a little bit ago as well. This was before we started recording, but season 3 was an interesting season. So I don't even know like really where to start, but I guess we'll just.
It's okay. I'll start.
Yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
start.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you the story about the rebellion of season 3. So essentially, there was at one point where, and I'm not gonna mention any names. If you were there, you were there, right?
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
mention my name. Excuse me. I'll mention my name, right? Okay.
I
So
might mention names, so go ahead though.
okay. You petty. You mad petty. But it's okay. Um. So yeah, Tennessee 3 pulls up. Towards the end of season 3, as we're about to enter playoffs, a player decides that he no longer wants to play in playoffs, which this is right. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. However, the issue was that the spot that was taken was by a player who was not next up in the rankings. What that means is, let's say, for example, Jordan, let's say, I don't know, let's say I'm ranked number 9, right? And
Hmm.
that's not a playoff spot. And
Hmm.
you're ranked number 10, and someone drops out of playoffs. By standings wise, who do you think should be the person to take that spot?
Just the next, person up,
The
whoever had
the
the
next
next
available
best record.
person who's
Hmm.
higher in the standings, right?
Hmm.
Um, I guess the concept at the time I don't, was a little foreign to some people. And again, not mentioning names, but long story short, once that happened, it felt like they had specifically set up this plan intentionally, just because up until that point there were some trades that were made as well. The player who dropped out actually went back on one of the trades because he kind of knew ahead of time that he was gonna drop, and
Hmm.
give it to the person who was gonna take a spot.
Right.
It didn't sit right with the group, and at that point we all kind of just, I think it was a combination because to even now look at it now, the situation really wasn't that serious, to be honest with you.
It never is, but
Um, yeah, it's just really not that. It really wasn't that serious. All we had to do was just say, no, this can't be what's happening. Hey, hey, dude, who likes Trump?
you're
You're
moving up.
playing now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like you're playing. That's all we saw. That's all we really had to do. I think it's just a combination of the fatigue and the frustration of the season.
It's
Honestly,
also like probably because it was such an early season too. Like if that was to happen season
exactly,
8, we'd know what to do. But season 3,
exactly.
we were still figuring things out. Yeah.
100%. And I think that's a great point because now it's like, now we kind of, I don't want to say before we didn't have really a structured like rule committee. Now it's like, there's a couple people who will tell you that's not what we do. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Things like that. Um so yeah, it was not a very popular ruling among a lot of players. A lot of people dropped. I'll be using code names for the rest of the story.
Well, no,
Code
Jay,
name
hold on.
Tony Romo.
No, hold on. Let's do this real quick
Mhm.
because I think there's
Okay.
only one name that's really kind of super relevant here.
Uh-huh.
But I do want to give just what Jay said is entirely accurate. This is what happened though. So in season 3, end of the season, again, don't get nervous, Jay. I'm not going to give names like that, but I'm gonna look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The player who ranked 8th that season
Mhm.
said, "I'm not going to play in playoffs," and we were like, "Huh?" Because the top 10 players qualified. So it's like, wait a minute,
I
you're
said,
number 8. You
yeah.
qualified. What are you talking about?
Mhm.
And the number 8 player said, "No, I'm gonna give my spot to the number 12 player," and we said, "Huh?" Because the number 8 player and the number 12 player are friends, IRL
Mhm.
friends. So again, the trade like prior to and all that stuff, I don't remember that like specifically, but that's kind of what happened. Number 8
Don't
said,
worry. I will elaborate more on that later. And
"No,
again, I'll be
perfect,
using code names.
perfect." So number 8 says to number 12, "Hey, you're gonna play in playoffs." But the issue here is number 11's like, "Wait a minute, I'm number 11. Like the top 10 qualified, one person's dropping out, and you're giving it to someone who's below me? That doesn't make any sense." So number 11, I don't know how they felt about it, but number 11's like, "Wait a minute, huh?" So, end of the day, number 8 is dropping out. Number 1 in season 3, Aris was ranked 10. He was number 1. Okay, so Aris, your 4-time champion, who just lost semifinals last week, who's basically been like a staple of PLC greatness for the last 10
Mhm.
years. He was the number 1 player that season. Aris said, "I don't like this. This is ridiculous. I'm dropping too." So we had the number 1 ranked player at the end of season 3 say, "I'm not going to play in playoffs." And it's like, whoa. Again, this was relatively new. Um, we were all kind of feeling things out as we were going through these seasons. And I think if this would have happened in a later season, it really wouldn't have been, wouldn't have transpired like it did. But season 3, Reese says, "I'm out, peace." Hits you with the fade away into the bushes meme, right? So Reese is
Mhm.
gone, number 8 player is gone, and now we have 11 and 12, who are technically, again, the top 10 qualify for playoffs, but now we have 11 and 12 filling in for the 2 players that have dropped. So again, I just wanted to mention Reese's name because Reese said Reese's team, like he was basically setting himself up to be a 3-time champion.
Yeah,
Um,
he would have got the 3-peat. Actually,
exactly, exactly. So he,
well, I'll say this. No, because I don't want um I don't want code name Dark Horse to feel some type of way. But
right, right.
I also again we don't know, but I remember this distinctly. To be honest with you, I remember Reese's team being really fucking good that year.
Yeah.
And there's certain years I remember Reese's team being good. Like I think of season 3, and I also think of that one Uber season that we had with the restaurant.
Mhm.
And the whole Chris thing. PLC has a lot of lore, by the way. That's actually a
Right, for
crazy
real.
thing about. Yeah, PLC has a crazy
Seriously.
amount of lore. That team, I remember that year was very, very like good. Um, but again, maybe he wouldn't have won. No, again, just giving some sympathy to codename Dark Horse.
Right. And right. Nah, I think we can just leave Dark Horse. We're not going to mention Dark Horse's name, but that's Dark Horse's first
We're not gonna
championship
mention
year.
Dark Horse's
If you
name.
guys if you guys can figure it out, it's not hard to do. But you have to do that on your own. We're not going to spoon feed it to you. But
Hmm.
Jay, the reason, so I guess the reason we can kind of talk more about it, but the reason we're talking about season 3 specifically is because all of this happened as we head into playoffs. And Jay, this is the only time that you and Mike have ever played in playoffs. But I say that in air quotes because what happened is the play-in round happened. Okay, what play-in round,
Yeah.
whatever. Round 1 of the playoffs happens, and you actually, again, this is going back a lot of time, a lot of years. I don't remember exactly what happened, but you did beat Josh. Um,
Hmm.
so again, RIP Josh, crazy stuff. Life just crazy, crazy stuff. But
Hmm.
you beat Josh in round 1 of the playoffs,
Hmm.
and you move on to the semifinals.
Yes,
Mike
sir.
also was in semifinals on your side of the bracket, which means you and Mike are going head to head. And I don't remember the full details, but can you please kind of dive into what happened with that semifinals
Yeah,
matchup?
I don't want to mention any names. So I guess I'll go with code name Cleaner. You know, code name Jin, or whoever the fuck
Okay.
Mike uses in Tekken. Um, and why the hell did I drop out that year? I
I
actually
don't
don't
know.
remember it,
I
to
don't
be honest
know.
with you. No, okay, okay, no, okay, give me a sec. Okay, here's what I remember. Because the decision for Reese to drop out, Jordan, I'm assuming you're looking at the season 3 spreadsheet right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Did Reese not play a game that playoffs? Am
No,
I
he
going
he dropped
crazy?
entirely. No, he dropped entirely. He did not. We didn't even like we removed him from the playoff bracket, and Mike was the number 1 seed because he was also 10-3. He was the number 2 seed originally, but Reese dropped. Mike moved up to number 1. Yeah, Reese did not play at all.
I don't know. I think at the time I was just like I was irritated over the ruling because I'm
Mm.
pretty sure one of the players still played, right? I'm not going crazy. Like
Um.
the number 12 seed ended up playing. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I think. Well, number
Yeah,
12 got knocked
that
out. It looks like Trump got moved forward to round 1. Yeah.
okay. Yeah. I don't know. I think at that point I was just partially because one, I was a college student and I was like irritated about like college. Two, I kind of just felt like, and I think even now I think about this, I'm just like, I don't know, like we 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 clown codename Dark Horse a lot for this season, to be honest with you. And I think part of me didn't want that. Like, if
Oh yeah.
let's say hypothetically, like you know how people think of like the bubble, and how
Yeah.
the Lakers are like, oh, they're the bubble scene, things like that.
Right. The Mickey Mouse Championship and blah blah blah. Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, I don't know. It just didn't feel the same without like I don't know, getting like the person who was the like technically the best. To be
Right.
honest with you, I probably would have lost to Mike regardless. I'm not even gonna BS you, and I think because I think his team was probably better than mine at the time, and I don't think I had the experience that I have now, and I think he was like a little bit more well prepared. And I think, yeah, so I was like, nah, F this, joining with the crowd, joining with the rebellion. I was like, nah, fuck this. And I think I was like, yeah, bro. Excuse me, I said F this, and I said the actual word.
No, you're
That
fine.
was my apology. Um, and I think I had Ian tag in against Mike that year, and I think Ian at that point had already, I think he had already gotten taken out,
Yo, that
by
was the
someone.
double protect ice punch Lopunny season.
Do you see? Yo, the PLC has a lot of lore. I'm
Yo, I
telling
love
you.
it.
Oh, if you know, you know.
Right, right.
I'll just
Yep.
say that. If you know, you know. And again, the ruling at the time was that Ian couldn't use his team. He had to use my team. And again, it's a very unfair situation to put someone when it's like they've been working with a team for close to. And those are when the seasons were long. Like you remember when seasons were like we thought 12 weeks is long.
Mm-hmm.
Remember we do 15 to 17 weeks
Yeah. Yep.
and things like that. Like that
Crazy.
that like
That's too much.
and that season was what, like 13 weeks, you said?
This one was 13, yeah. But I think we
13.
had buys though too. So we
We had
had.
buys. So that
Oh
was
wait, no, I
what,
lied.
like,
I lied. No buys.
you know
It
what?
was 13 weeks
That's
though.
still,
Long time.
it was still very long. And again, this was relatively early because I remember season one wasn't long at all, right?
It
That
was
was not long
eight
at all,
weeks, I
right?
think. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
nothing.
So it's like season two itself, I remember was very long. I know season two was very long
Season two
because it
looks like it
felt,
was 13 as well.
yeah. I was like, that shit
Mm-hmm.
was crazy. Um, long story short, Ian had to play. I mean, codename Mura had to play with my team. Ended up losing 2-0, I believe,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken. No
Yep.
offense,
Yep.
and again, no, that's not a shot at Ian. Again, he was using a team that literally wasn't his. So it's
Right.
like
Exactly.
he just did it for the love of the game.
Just
And
to
Ian,
get
thank
the
you.
matches
Exactly,
played and record. Yeah.
exactly. And we appreciate that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that would be the matchup that we have. So technically, me and Mike have never faced off in playoffs. If you
Right.
really think about it, we've
Right.
never faced off. We haven't faced each other at all this season. We didn't play. We both didn't play season 8 and season 9. I think that was the one season that I got the W after losing 4 straight. So it's like there's a lot. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that kind of peel back when it comes to this, and it's cool. It's cool to kind of reminisce and think about. I remember how upset everyone was season 3. That's the one thing I'm like, this is bad. I just remember everyone being upset. And I remember Jordan just being like, okay, like not like okay, but I remember you weren't like as upset as everybody else was.
No, I can't remember.
So yeah,
I was like, I really can't remember. I was typically like, I remember I used to be Switz for the longest time because I was kind of like, I didn't get too hot, too cold.
exactly, yeah,
But I think that was probably around that time. I can't remember. But
Swiss. That's a throwback right there.
right, it is though, for real.
I mean, forgot they used to call you Swiss. That's crazy. That's insane. Wow, that just unlocked a memory for me. I'm not gonna
Core
lie to you.
memory is unlocked.
Exactly.
But no, the PLC has so much lore. It's so fun. I love it.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was season 3. That was the only prior Battle of the Young Bucks. It wasn't the Battle of the Young Bucks at the time because we didn't have named rivalries, but now we do. And that was the last time that you guys had matched up. And it really, again, wasn't really a matchup between you two. So this is going to be Battle of the Young Bucks meeting up in finals. Again, you guys are the next generation of PLC players, and you guys are all grown up. Look at you now. And it's exciting to see. It's fun.
Look at you now.
Look at you guys. Who'd have thought? Look at you.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought? Look at you now. But no, that was again, that was fun. Season 3, good stuff. Oh, Jay, actually, you know what I want to say real quick?
Mm.
I can't remember why, but like a couple of days ago, I was going back to like I love recording this podcast and like this is history, right? This is PLC history recording right
Hmm.
now. And
Oh shucks.
it's cool. It's a thing about, right? Because I went back to the podcast. I think there's 44 or 45 episodes. The
That's
first
crazy.
couple
Wow.
episodes are just recaps of seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And
There were also player origin stories in there.
were they really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
You
that.
remember that?
Not
I think a
really.
Reese did it at the time though.
I don't
You
really
you
remember.
remember it?
Uh-uh.
It was someone used to. I think it was a Reese, and I have to double. I think it was either you or a Reese. where you guys would interview people and would be like, hey, like, so what is your origin story with Pokemon, things like that. You guys would ask about, yo, what was
Oh
your first Pokemon
yeah,
game, and it was our chance, kind of like, just like a get to know everybody
I
kind of
do
vibe.
remember that. Was that the
And I don't,
podcast?
yeah, it was something like that. I don't know if we called it the PLC podcast or something like that. I think you guys did at the time,
Yeah,
and
I
I don't,
remember that actually.
but
Was
and I
that a
remember,
Reese?
it was,
I
or you or
can't.
Zach, it was someone,
Yeah,
I forgot
I
who it was.
remember it, but I don't remember the specifics. But I do remember that. That's actually crazy. But
Yeah,
like
for the,
the first. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. Sorry.
yeah, no, I was gonna say, just for the guys who like hear this and can shed some light on it, please do. It's
Yeah, yeah,
actually
for
really
sure. Like, let us
intriguing.
know where that stuff is found at, because I remember it, but I don't remember where it's at. That's really cool though. I do remember that. But it could have been those first couple episodes. But I think with those first couple episodes, we had like different people on,
Hmm.
like that were involved with the drama or whatever the case may be. Um, those were, I was just listening to a little bit of them. I didn't like sit down and listen to the hours that they were, but I listened to a few minutes of a
Did you
couple of them, and I was like,
did
oh,
you
this
hear the
is.
season 3 one?
I didn't know. I don't remember.
Oh,
Like,
you gotta hear the season 3 one.
right,
Like, that's
right.
all. That was like the everybody was on that
I think we had everybody
talking
involved
talking about.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so
I don't
funny.
I don't know. There's no way we had
I
everybody.
think so. I want to say we
No.
did. I'm pretty sure, but it's on the podcast feed. So if Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening, it's there. I don't think it's on my YouTube, the JTH
Mhm.
PLC YouTube, but I think it's everywhere else like podcasts are. But no, I think we did a pretty good job of recapping it here though. It was fun. That was a good
Yeah,
conversation.
man, it was a good time.
But so
But
Jay,
now,
yeah, exactly. All of
hmm
that to make picks. Jay,
the final picks of the
yes,
season.
yes, yes.
I
Kick us
think
off.
I think I should go first.
I think you
Yeah.
should kick us off. Let's go.
No, I don't know, man. Interesting. Not, I don't know. I'm gonna pick myself just because gotta be confident, man. I think again, Mike's team is a problem. It's a very big problem. He has a lot of things that can put in a lot of hurt. Gastrodon. He has the terrain. He has the psychic terrain. Electric terrain. Forgot to say the electric part. He has the wheezing if he also wants to turn off abilities. It's a lot, man. It's a lot of heavy hitting stuff. Again, I think I got some heavy hitters in my squad. I think of some of the cool additions I made towards the end of the season that really helped. So I'm gonna go for myself in 3 games.
All right. I have got you down for yourself in 3. And Jay, I'm not going to make this interesting. I'm not going
Oh,
to pick against you. I'm not going to
wow,
pick against you for like to serve as motivation. I'm not going to do that because I want
wow.
you to win this. I'm not going to lie. No shade to Mike, but Jay, we've been talking pretty much every week for the last, 4 months. And again, we've missed a
That's
couple.
crazy.
Yeah, we've
That's
missed a
crazy. If
couple.
you think about
Everybody
it, that's
relax.
actually insane. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's nuts though, right? We spend an
Mhm.
hour and a half, 2 hours like every week just talking about the PLC, just rapping about the season 3 lore and the this and the that. And Jay, I want you to win. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. So I'm gonna go. I will make it a tiny bit interesting. I'm gonna say you in 2 games, just so that there is a little bit of difference. But I do want you to take this dub. And again, no shade to Mike. Um, if you win, that'd be freaking sweet too. But Jay, I'm pulling for you this week, so I do have you. And again, making it a little interesting, I've got you in 2 games as opposed to your 3. So,
Thank you, thank you. And I don't know if we got that on camera when I said if I win this week, the podcast credibility shoots up like
yep,
a million.
it does though.
Now I can say outrageous things, and I could be like ring check to
Yeah, exactly.
back it up. You know what I mean? Can I get a ring check? The only people that can really tell me something are you, Zach, and Aris. But again,
Exactly.
that's if I win, because again, there is a chance I can go like I walked into the season 6 final pod, devastated, annoyed, and destroyed that I had to record that. But it is okay. Again, I think this time around, I think, and this isn't to sound cheesy, this doesn't sound cheesy at all. I think the season 6 demons have been exercised. I think that
Hey.
win against Zach, I think that kind of, I don't want to say that was like redemption, but that was kind of redemption. You know what I mean? Just because season 7, when we faced off, that wasn't, and it's not an excuse. He still beat me 2-0 in playoffs, but that was a team that I didn't draft. You know what I mean? So I was like,
Mhm.
this team I really didn't draft. This team is like Man, I think I told you this like off stream. This is probably one of my favorite teams. And I think it's the favorite team I've ever had, and I've been playing for 7 out of 9 seasons. That this is like the team, and I feel like this is the team that can win the chip. Again, we have fantastic opposition on the other side, so it's gonna be a dogfight, man. It's gonna be a dogfight. But I'm very excited, and I think you know
Mm-hmm. No, I
we
feel it.
could we could take it home. You know what I mean?
Hey,
I think we could take it home, but
I
we'll
dig
see.
it.
We'll see.
I dig it. I dig it. And I'm pulling for you, and I do want you to
Thank
get
you.
that
Thank
dub.
you.
And again, the podcast credibility is going to be freaking flames. If you got two
Hmm.
champions coming to you every freaking week, you
Exactly.
know what I mean? You have to listen to
Not one, not I was about to say not
that.
two, one not one, but two champions. So now, so listen. So whenever we tell you how to not do stupid trades, I don't want to mention any code name Denmark. You know what I
Right,
mean? I don't, even when we don't want you to butcher your team at the end of the season. Code name Mura, things like that. It's
right,
for
right.
because we got championship pedigree. You know
It's
what I
because
mean?
we've
Like
we've
that.
been through the flames and we know.
We've been there before. We've
Right,
that.
right.
And I also will say, and I think Ian said this on the stream, and I was actually very proud of me and Mike. We actually like, and Jordan, you may be able to elaborate or maybe shed some light on this. And I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Mhm.
It's close to be found sweet. I believe, and I could be wrong. I believe me and Mike are the only two players to both come out of play-in to both be in finals. Because I
Um,
don't remember that happening before, to be honest with you.
Now we can check real fast. Hold on. Okay, so let's look back at season 8. Now this should be quick. Playoffs. Brian and Brendan. Brian lost. Brendan. Well, Brian lost, so that's not season 8. Okay, Brendan
Hmm.
did make it, but he made it out of play-ins, but not both players. Mike and Jay. Nope, not in season 7. Season 6, and this should be quick too because we don't have
Hmm.
play-in rounds for every season. So
Hmm.
season 6, it was Jay Wade and Brendan. They did not make finals. Season 5, I love season 5. Season 5 was cool. It was, let's see, Stephen B and Ian. Nope, I was in the top seeds. Season 4, a recent Ian made finals, and Ian made it out of play-ins, but Jay Wade came out of the other side, so not season 4 either. We've had play-ins for a long time, geez,
Hmm.
since season 4. So this is going back to season 3. Season 3 we just talked about. We know what happened. I don't think. No, I made it out. Will made it out. Nope. Season 3 is like a no go. And then season 2, I think we did top 8, so we didn't have a play-in round in season 2.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is the first season that both players have made it out of play-ins.
And someone out the play-in will win the chip, no matter
Right,
who it
yeah.
is.
Exactly. I think that is the first time that's going to happen though. I just clicked through all those sheets and I don't remember. But no, this is going to be good. This is going to be freaking dope, dude. And again, I love the fact that it's you two. It's so cool because like again, I'm a huge sports fan. So it's like the stories really sell. Like the sports purists watch the game to watch the game, but the casual fan wants to have the story that goes along with it, right?
Hmm.
So this finals matchup is like the Pokemon purists are gonna watch because it's Pokemon being played, but the casual just PLC participants gonna be like, this is kind of cool.
Hmm.
This is Jay and Mike going at it. So I'm excited for you guys. It's gonna be fun.
Thank you, bro.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you. Nigga,
Absolutely,
that's
Jay.
that's
Yeah.
that's my guy. So I'll be happy with whatever outcome. I may be upset for like 24 hours, but then I'll be fine afterwards. I promise.
There we go. There we go. Well, all right. Well, Jay, that is your
Your
finals
kind
week
of
podcast. Yeah.
go home finals podcast. This is not what they call it, something like that.
The go home finals.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's not they be like, oh, it's the when it's like about to be like when it's like the last show before the big one. They're like, oh, this is the go home show.
Well, this is I've never heard it referred to as that before.
Never
But I'm
mind.
not. That's not to say it's not called that, but I just
Never
don't
mind.
know. But it is the. I mean, penultimate. I think that's a fun word to use.
Penultimate.
Yeah,
Yeah, why not?
penultimate's like
That's
the
cool, I
second to
guess.
last. Yeah, which is kind of strange, but I don't know why are you using the word ultimate because you don't call the final one the ultimate. You know what I mean? The penultimate. I don't know. It's kind of strange, but yeah, we will bring the end of the season pod to you next week. Win, lose, or draw, we'll come to you one more time. But yeah, this is the second to last podcast of season 9, and we hope you guys have enjoyed. If you're still listening to this point, go ahead and drop some pumpkin emojis in chat. We would appreciate seeing those. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, we appreciate you guys. Yo, just to let us know, right? It's a very strange emoji, and if you drop that in chat tomorrow, we know you made it. That's freaking fire.
So random. That was so random. I don't
Yo,
know why that was so funny to me.
We're gonna see some pumpkins. It's gonna be cool. I just try to think of something that you wouldn't typically see. Pumpkin emoji. Do they even have a pumpkin emoji? I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow.
No, they do. That was just super random. I was not expecting that.
No, if you made it to this point, we appreciate it. But yeah, we know a couple of you guys do listen to everything. So again, making it here, I might cash app you like $5 because we really appreciate it. But
yeah.
Because if you listen, like, it's one thing to listen to like all the PLC stuff, but to listen to us right now in this minute, like in this, wow, we're dedicated. We appreciate it.
After going through Pixar and all that good stuff.
Exactly, seriously. But no, we appreciate it, guys. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. Jay, I appreciate your time. Anything you want to say to the people before we roll?
Nah. Well, I'll have probably a lot to say next week though. We'll see.
For sure.
But nah, just look both ways for you across the street.
Good advice.
Things like that. Drink some water. It's getting hot out there, and that's pretty much it. That's all I got for y'all.
No,
and
good stuff,
one more.
Stuff.
And just don't terror steal your washing machine, I guess.
Hey, good stuff. Not in front of a pelliper, at least, because evidently that's not great for the appliance. So, but no, good stuff, Jay. That's good advice. And I will see you guys in chat. We'll see you guys in chat. But Jay, good luck with your matchup this week.
Thank you.
Yes, good luck, bro. It's cool to see you here. Taking all this time. I appreciate your time throughout the season, and good luck with finals. So,
thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.